The surprise attacks carried out after the declaration of war saw the peacekeeping forces of various countries, including Osea, suffer major damage. The ships moored around the space elevator and near Gandar Bay have been hit particularly hard. Numerous ships have been sunk and abandoned. Fortunately, our cutting-edge aircraft carrier Kestrel 2 was at sea, so it was spared from the attack. Kestrel 2 is now preparing to launch another attack against Erusia's capital, Farbanti. The aircraft carrier Vulture also managed to escape Gandar Bay safely. However, it lost all its aircraft, so it's sailing empty. Today, the International Union Peacekeeping Force reclaims its bid to the space elevator. The Fort Gray's Island Air Base Squadron will rendezvous with the carrier Vulture for a joint mission. The first objective will be to seize air superiority in Schoppenberg in order to secure a route for the support squadrons. The enemy maintains air superiority over Schoppenberg, so expect heavy resistance from enemy aircraft. There's more, so listen carefully. Right from the start of the war, the enemy has been deploying drones. They're using a new advanced type of drone. The unmanned airborne aircraft carrier, the Arsenal Bird, carries this new drone, MQ-101. The Osean Army headed up the development of the massive Arsenal Birds and dispatched them to the space elevator to provide support. However, it's been reported that the carriers may have fallen into the hands of the Erusian forces. If that's true, it could be a significant obstacle for us. We need to regain control of the space elevator ASAP. Good luck out there.
Alright, welcome back to Ace Combat. So, funny thing for this one, I actually am replaying this mission for a second time outside the stream. I accidentally ended up deleting the file, and Adobe Premiere was freaking out since it needs the source, so I had to go back and just like record this back on my own off stream. Alright, so for this one, we're going to be flying the MiG-21, which this is one of the first aircraft you can really get in the game, on the tree. It's a pretty cheap plane. It's one of the older models. I think this is the oldest plane you can get in the game, actually. So, a little bit about the plane. As you can see, just by kind of like looking at it, it has a really weird design. So the MiG-21, or the Mikoyan Gurevich 21, codename Fishbed by NATO. So this is I believe this is the Soviet Union's first supersonic jet. It's designated as a interceptor. So it's more well designed for missions where you're going to be, doing a lot of dogfighting. This one's actually, I would say, not better than the Phantom, but it is a little more mobile. So if you're wanting to do faster turns, but still have, like, really high top speed, I would recommend taking the MiG over the Phantom. The only downside to the MiG, I would say, is it's kind of the glass cannon of the game. Meaning you're getting all this speed and mobility, but you're kind of trading away your hull weakness, which the MiG, funny thing about it is, at least over like half the plane is just dedicated to the engine. Like if you look at a cutaway, there's like a certain point to where like the cockpit just like stops about like a fourth of the way, and like the entire length of the rest of the plane is taken up by the engine and like the fuel intake. So it's very, very volatile to not exploding, but like you don't want it to get hit in the engine. You could be leaking fuel, or there's the possibility of, you know, like exploding if you get hit by a missile there. So the MiG is a Soviet aircraft. Had its first flight in 1955 and was introduced into the Soviet Air Force in 1959. So this is the oldest aircraft you can get in Ace Combat 7. And I mean, it does a pretty good job. You can see, like, it's got that really weird, like, pencil, like, outline. So, the MiG is the most combat-produced aircraft since the Korean War. Like, Russia just, like, was just spitting these things out. Like, at least, you know, more than 10,000. So, design started in the 1950s, with the, like, after the Soviet Union had, like, all their subsonic planes, so, you know, planes that couldn't break the sound barrier. And they finally got they were able to break the sound barrier with the MiG-19, and so this is just a further improvement to that design, really. You can kind of tell the age of this plane by, like, looking at the cockpit here. Really, like, weird looking when you, like, compare it to modern day fighters. It's, like, just all crowded, and, like, it's kind of that weird in-between of, like, you know, like, the instruments look like they're kind of like World War II, but mixed with modern day tech. Really interesting plane.
Nice kill.
It's basically a cockpit strapped to a jet engine, is what many people refer to it as. So, like many aircraft designed as interceptors, the MiG-21 has a really short range.
Our radar shows no sign of bandits.
Because just like it's using up so much fuel to like get those top speeds. The problem with the mobility with the MiG is that the outside fuel intake, which you can see, like, that's with the that long little, like, pointed metal rod in the front. It's just hanging out there. So, you know, that's like messing with the center of gravity, trying to like offset it. It's kind of known for having like really difficult controls. It just being weird to fly. It also has other issues where apparently, oh, here, we'll get right back to that. Here's the introduction of the Arsenal bird, or the the Amazon blimp in the intro.
We'll live through this, Trigger. These guys are definitely a step above the last drones.
So this is the first boss fight of the game. The Arsenal bird, what it will do is, it will keep spawning out these, or it won't keep spawning out, it'll release all these drones right at the start of the fight. And it has a whole bunch of like missile pods like on top of the surface. So, yeah, if you try to get too close to the arsenal bird, it'll launch a whole lot of missiles at you all at once. You want to go for the propellers in this part, but you don't want to stay too close to it, because later on, it's going to put up like an EM field, which will just like melt your health if you stay in that too long. So yeah, with the fuel intake, one of the issues that they had with it was when more than half the fuel was used up. Oh, shit. When half the fuel was used up, very like extreme maneuvers prevented fuel from like kind of flowing well into the engine. It would just kind of like slosh around in the intake a little bit, like causing it to kind of like stall and shut down in mid-flight.
All aircraft, no change in game plan. Destroy the arsenal bird.
So, what like allows it to, you know, reach these high speeds is the engine. It's called the Tumansky R25. And what it essentially does is, it's a second fuel pump, which kind of like turns on in the afterburning stage. So, you know, like when you're lifting off, you start up the plane, you get that first fuel pump going, but after you reach a certain speed, it'll start pumping in more fuel from the second intake, just like causing it to just burn, like really hot. You know, allowing it to like thrust up to like 2,000 meters in altitude very quickly. The RPM of the engine would increase by 2.5%. And really, in Ace Combat, you could just go as fast as you want, like for however long. But in real life, you would be limited to about 2 minutes of this before, you know, causing the engine to overheat. You know, and you're just like burning a ton of fuel with this, like you're increasing it by like twice as much. And the MiG is actually still in use by a few countries today, mainly India and Czechoslovakia. And there's an additional variant was made by China in the 60s, which I don't believe that version is in this game. But it's like not too many different designs, just like a couple of like changes to how the wings are designed. That's about it.
Shoot down those UAVs. Don't let them touch any friendlies.
So yeah, that's pretty much all the tech stuff about the MiG.
Continuing the mission. Still got my wings. Trigger doesn't need to fill in for
So yeah, not much going on now. Pretty much just cleaning up the drones. These drones aren't too bad. They're a little more maneuverable than like regular fighters. But yeah, you can see it's very easy to like catch up the planes with the MiG and just like use the gun. That's its major strength, I would probably say. Like, it's just very good at catching up to other fighters. Whereas with the Phantom, I would say it's better used against bombers.
Hang in there and come back safe. Page 2, box 2.
So yeah, not a lot been going on. Still getting through this. Let's see, it's, by the time this is going up, by the time I'm recording it, it's just the start of the week of Christmas, so. Just trying to like figure out like, you know, gift buying last minute. Like, I forgot, like, you know, because of all the, you know, Corona stuff. Like, I actually just forgot that it was the week of Christmas.
Gargoyle 1, caution, missile!
But, yeah,
Skykeeper,
I
Gargoyle 1 lost.
I might do something like this with, SMT when I eventually get there. Where I'll just, like, stream it and then record afterwards.
I'm against an SU-30. Orange wingtips. I can't shake it off. It's matching me move for move.
Golem 2, stop dogfighting and run.
But yeah, streaming's been getting on pretty good. What I've noticed with YouTube, the YouTube uploads, I've been getting more views on like my one-off videos with Hell Let Loose and stuff like that. So, I mean, Dwarf Fortress 2 still, which I do want to get back to that eventually. Which who knows, I might, you know, like even today as I'm recording this, I might, you know, hop on later tonight and play that. It's like I don't really have a focus on the channel, and I don't really want to become like you know, I'm just doing one type of game, since this is just kind of like for fun. I'm not planning on like making this a full-time or even a part-time thing, really. Just kind of like something on the side for me to do, you know, keep myself occupied, since I've been like locked inside the apartment all year because of all the shit going on.
Good job, Mage 2. We want as many guys out here as possible.
I'm grateful you're around.
Golem 2, what's your status? Status report.
He's a predator. The weak can eat.
Golem 2, get a hold of yourself. Golem 2, get away from the enemy.
H2, support! Somebody! Support!
And there's... I gotta work on filling dead air.
Golem 2.
Yeah, I've been playing more
Skykeeper, where's the one that got broke?
of that Phasmophobia.
Sorry.
Like, it's actually, like, I actually want to say one of the best horror games that I've like played recently. You know, it's got that like slow kind of creeping,
Said what I had to say.
you know, feeling.
About what? Not a girl who'd retreat.
Um,
Just not in her DNA.
You know, I might upload some videos on it later
That was
too.
the right decision at the
See how
time.
that does.
No, I should have done
Just
what I
see me
like her,
just scream
whoever
like an
she became
idiot.
with. Golem Squadron, Mage Squadron, withdraw.
Alright. That's almost the end of the mission, it looks like. Alright, well, I will go ahead and cut the recording here.
Mage 2, we have you on radar. You are cleared for
If you want, go ahead and subscribe to my videos. I don't really have like a set schedule, so
cleared for landing.
that'll just help you, like, you know, keep up if I'm uploading. I want to try at least getting one out a day. Or not one, oh Jesus, not one a day. At least one a week. But I will go ahead and record more of the next video now, so I guess I will see you then.
Your approach looks good. Stay on course. Perfect, Mage 2. I knew you'd be back. Stand by for further orders. Be ready for your next sortie.
Mage Squadron, this is the situation. Golem and the other bases squadrons already joined forces and are engaged. You guys will arrive right in the middle of the action. Mage Squadron, eliminate all bandits in the current airspace. We have the upper hand, but that doesn't mean we can ease up. Good luck. Mage 1, Wilco.
Unfortunately, the two-front offensive was a failure. The aircraft carrier Kestrel II was sunk during the attack on Farbanti. Carrier-borne aircraft mistakenly bombed urban areas, and this has turned public opinion in neutral countries against us. Our own forces also suffered heavy losses. If it weren't for a few extraordinary fighters, many of us wouldn't have made it home. The situation is grim. We have precious little time, however. We have to get to the space elevator.